What's up, everybody? Welcome to SR Lounge, where we're here to help you be a better photographer. And today we have part 3 with our lovely Michelle Nicole. This is our interview series. Michelle, say hi again for the third time to everybody. And in today's video, well, let's give a little summary of what we talked about. So in the very first video, we kind of discussed what led you to be leaving your job to becoming a full-time photographer. In video number 2, we talked about that transitional phase, basically, of how you prepared to leave that full-time job and basically start your business. Now, we're all caught up. You have your business plan, you have your 1-year runway that we talked about in the last video, we have everything set up, and now you've quit your job.
Quit my job.
How's it going?
It was very challenging.
Why?
You know, so you build up all your clientele, you build up all the weddings that you are planning to have or planning to shoot, and you are now like free from corporate world. You just wake up in the morning at whatever time. No, you have to wake up at a certain time. And
did you find that at the beginning you're kind of like treating it like vacation? Like,
yes, of
I'm
course.
off?
Yeah, the first month I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm off. I don't have to wake up so early in the morning. I can just wake up and walk to my computer and
wear your pajamas
have my 2-second commute.
So you have to kind of bring back the structure, right?
Right. Yeah, so it becomes unstructured for a while until you really realize that you need to put structure into your
And how were you doing that? Like, how did you get that back in for yourself?
It was very challenging. You have to wake up. You have to make sure that you wake up at a certain time every morning.
What's your time? I just want to know this personally. What is your time? The Michelle time.
It might be 10 a.m.
10 a.m.? Oh my gosh. I was expecting you to be like, I do 6 a.m., 7.
I wish. I'm not a morning person.
I see you got a little bit of that. Yeah, you got a little bit of that party girl in you still. Like 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
That's awesome. Okay, so you realize that you need, and by the way, the whole purpose of this video is talking about ongoing education, which I don't think we've touched on yet. So let's get into that. But you realize basically that you needed more business, you needed help with things, you needed more structure, you need all those things. So we talked about the importance of ongoing education, and we had 5 tips on why it is so important. So what is number 1?
Well, one of the reasons why is because I found a mentor to actually guide me along the way of every step of my career. So,
and was that Scott Robert Lim?
So Scott Robert Lim was my mentor from day one.
That's a good mentor to have.
Very great and amazing. So number 2 is actually learning the technicalities.
Okay.
So
what did that encompass, technicalities?
So I learned a lot of off-camera flash, and I also learned about posing and other types of lighting as well.
What was your preferred way to learn? Did you watch tutorials online, DVDs, live workshops, read books? What did you like to do?
My preference was actually live workshops.
Okay.
I really loved live workshops because you are hands-on. You actually get to meet other people. But not only that, you get to try things. After live workshops, my second preference of learning is actually online.
Okay. So what sites, blogs, what do you follow online? Where do you get your education online?
You can watch pretty much anything. There's YouTube, there's Creative Live. I actually watched a lot of SLR Lounge tutorials.
You have to say that because this is
I'm
show.
Serious. I'm serious.
Well, that's sweet of you. Okay, so yeah, we have a ton of great resources. YouTube is a great place. Creative Live, Flern was a fantastic place for Photoshop, learning photo. There's a lot of great resources out there.
Right, definitely a lot.
Okay, so number 3. What is your third reason that ongoing education is so important?
My third reason why ongoing education is so important is that you actually get to network with all these different photographers, and you get to meet all these new people that become your friends. Some of the things that I actually learned from other photographers is having a good community and sounding base of where you are at in your career, and asking other people for their opinion and their advice.
Well, I think that's something that's probably often overlooked, right? The whole networking aspect of a workshop.
Yes.
Because you don't really think, like when someone goes to a workshop, I don't think most people think one of the reasons I'm going to go is to network.
Right.
But that is truly one of the most valuable pieces because, like you said, well, if you just started your business and you're running into these issues and these growing pains, you could probably guarantee that there's other people that have either are in that same situation or have already gone through it.
Exactly. So meeting other photographers, they've been, a much closer in experience, and I can go ahead and ask them questions or their advice, what makes their business a lot easier and better.
Interesting. So this is the funny part, is you actually met us through a mutual friend, and he's not a photographer, he's a chef.
Yes.
And you learned from a chef about CloudSpot, which was our new way to share images, basically. And that led you to meeting us later on.
Yes.
So tell me about that process. So what did James do? He showed you something online and you're like, what happened?
So James Lee is a chef that actually I work on a personal project called the Dessert Tour with. And he actually showed me this really cool software named CloudSpot. Initially, we were sharing via Dropbox, and I would share my images to my clients, like through Dropbox. And
you also mentioned you Smug in the past too.
I have used SmugBug, and then also just email.
Yeah, we've all done it.
But yeah, like once I actually discovered CloudSpot, I thought it was just like this amazing software that has all the things that I need into one.
Well,
so in a nice, really seamlessly, like pretty way.
Yeah. Well, that was the goal. We might wanted it simple, and then through that you might basically met us and everything like that. So networking is kind of a big thing. And I always tell people, like, get out and shoot, get out and take classes, get out and just be involved. Stop being wrapped up in front of your computer all day long.
Right.
Okay, so number 4.
Number 4 for me was to actually interact or learn how to interact with my clients.
Okay.
So during a workshop, if they have a live shoot or in my live shoots, I was able to watch other photographers and how they interact with the models, and also watch the mentor as well, watch Scott Robert Lim, how he interacts with them.
Yeah.
And so how he poses them, like if he wants to bring their chin down a little bit or bring your hand up.
I love that, because I think that's one of those areas that anybody can learn at whatever skill level, however long you've been in this industry. Watching someone else communicate and interact is always beneficial to somebody else. Okay, lastly, number 5 on your list of why ongoing education is so important to you. What is it?
Lastly on my list is actually you get to go home with workshop images from that you've taken at the workshop. So a lot of workshops that I've been to have been destination workshops in China, in Paris, in Hawaii, the Bahamas.
That's really cool.
One of the great things is coming home with imagery.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And frankly, you're in situations and in scenes that you wouldn't typically be unless you planned your own stylized shoot and all that kind of stuff.
That's correct.
So I would add one thing to that. Generally, I don't really add too much, but I would say one thing, and you can tell me if you agree with this. A recommendation to everybody out there: when you take a workshop, one of the reasons that's fantastic about the workshop, just like she mentioned, is coming away with these portfolio images. With one little kind of a warning to everybody. So if you come away from a workshop and you show images in your portfolio that you yourself cannot recreate under pressured circumstances. So I bring that up because at a wedding day, you might have 3 minutes to do something where you might have had an hour to do that at your workshop, right?
That's very correct.
So if you show images in your portfolio that you cannot replicate, not only, under regular time constraints, but under extreme time constraints, then you're essentially setting yourself up for failure, because a client will come to you, hire you based on those expectations, and then you don't deliver, and so forth. So what is your thought on that? Do you agree? Or?
I agree 110%.
Okay.
I think that the workshop is actually for you to learn how to do that lighting, or how to set up that pose, or in that situation, in that destination, or wherever you actually took your workshop. And then it's for you to take home to practice, refine, and then actually be able to execute it the same way that you can on, say, your engagement session or your wedding. So you have to be able to actually know exactly what you're doing if you want to be able to set up that same shot.
High five. We're in agreement on that. No, I love that because, yeah, you need to be 100% comfortable to the point where I can execute that in any scene, any lighting situation, any time constraint whatsoever. And then you bring those images from the workshop back in your portfolio. But I've seen so many people go to a workshop, put all these images in their portfolio. They get 3 clients that book them, and then their studio fails the next 3 months because once the people get their images back, they leave negative reviews.
Right.
And just a few negative reviews is enough to tank an entire company.
And one more thing to cover is that you want to make sure that you practice doing the technical things that you learned during that workshop. You don't want to practice on someone's shoot. You want to be able to practice on your own time. So if you really wanted to actually be able to execute what you learned and practice, and that's what you want in your style of photography, then be able to practice that outside of
Well, and that's what you use.
clients.
You mentioned that you like to do personal shoots, right?
Yeah.
Like personal shoots, and I think that's a perfect playing ground to kind of test and try and do all those things.
Exactly.
So, well, I love everything you had to say on ongoing education. I think I agree 125, 50, 200%, however many percent I need to. All right, so to learn more about Michelle Nicole Photography, well, we have her link. You can read more in the article itself. You can see her amazing images. You can follow her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so forth. We're going to provide all the links for you all. And be sure to join the SR Lounge photography community on Facebook, as well as follow srlounge.com. My name is Pi. You guys can follow me on Facebook as well under Pi Jirsa. And, well, we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We have derailed.
It doesn't make a difference.
Should you like wear tape instead?
No, because then tape would just be like poofy over that area.
No, I mean, like, what if you get, like, those Band-Aid that are circular?
Do you want to do another nip flick again?
Yeah, actually, it's been too long. Gotta get it going. Okay, we're good now. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
All right. That's 4 minutes.
Was this all recorded?
Maybe.